Welcome to Greige Against the Machine, the podcast where we celebrate the extraordinary talent and accomplishments of lesser-known and even unknown artists and creatives. I'm Lisa Catara alongside Justin Harvey, and each week we'll explore the minds and stories of the journeymen and women behind your favorite films, shows, ads, music, and more. Those who craft magic without the red carpet spotlight or public eye, because everyone has a unique story to tell, and sometimes the most inspiring voices are the ones you haven't heard yet. Hello, everyone out there in the cloud. It is I, Lisa, solo again on my podcast. Justin got busy. I know we took a long break. This is episode 22. We had to do some work. We got booked and had to disappear and take care of that. And then people that were going to be guests on the show booked work, which is ideally what we want to hear. But today I'm back with a friend and colleague and mentor of mine who I literally trust with my life. Jason Greige is a member of the International Stunt Association and a longtime veteran stunt performer, as well as rigger and fire burn safety. He's a fire expert. He's been on countless movies and shows: Dumb and Dumber, Venom, Captain America, Purge, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, The Patriot, TV shows like Righteous Gemstones, Rebel Moon, Maxine, Babylon, The Mandalorian. Basically, he's having a lot of fun. I hope. I mean, to me, it's fun. And today we're going to hang with Jason Greige and talk about his journey and, stunts and action and film and Hollywood and whatever the heck he wants to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Good. Thanks for stopping your day and jumping in. I know it's not easy to do on a Saturday.
It's a beautiful day here in Southern California, and it's actually the heat is here, so it's nice to be inside, and it's nice to talk to you. Congratulations on your podcast. So
thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it's funny how much work it is, but also how enjoyable it is just to kind of talk about my friends and talk about my colleagues who are worth mentioning, who otherwise wouldn't have a spotlight, or maybe like you are humble and don't seek it out. And hopefully let the public know the people behind the films and the shows that they've been watching up until now.
That's my secret weapon, is flying under the radar.
Nice. I don't think I do that very well. I'm too, I don't know, I lead. I just jump in.
Yeah. I'm in a group, so I got to watch myself. So I got to make the group look good and be professional all the time. So I can't be.
Facts. You got a brand to uphold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And a great brand it is.
So speaking of ISA, I have to say, when I finally, I guess, established myself and was respected enough to be hired as a stunt woman, ISA members really took care of me. They trusted me, and I'm very proud to have so many of them on my resume. You guys have a really good group of really great guys, and I can feel it's evident,
Yeah, I think so too, because that's what drew me to them. I played softball with a lot of them, and a lot of them are my friends when I first moved to Hollywood 23 or 24 years ago. Wow. And we have a sign in our clubhouse and that says, safety first. So that's paramount to us, is safety, 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 and follow the rules. We try to follow the SAG-AFTRA rules and not let producers and directors get over on us. So safety and follow the rules, and that makes for a good team. I think there's 31 of us, and we all get along. We all work. We're all veterans, and we're getting a couple of new people in now, and just keep it rotating. I mean, we've been around since 1980, so it's
wild. Yeah, so you're passing the torch to the next generation to continue.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm in that category now of mentorship and paying it forward, which I enjoy.
That's crazy great.
Yeah.
What is it you're mentoring with? Are you helping to cultivate new coordinators, safety?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm working. I have a little compound. I live in Thousand Oaks, and I have a little compound at my house, a container and some sheds full of gear. And I have some rigging up in the air, and we do little tiny fire burn seminars and workshops for free. Just my son and some of his friends, and maybe some ISA guys come over, and we just teach what we know to the next group of 20-year-olds and from all over California. Yeah, some of them are second generation stunt people like my son, and I'm teaching them whatever little things I know. People taught me along the lines: rigging, like I said, like you mentioned, and fire burns, and just driving, sword fighting. We do fights.
That's amazing. So wait, did he have this bug? Was he inspired by watching his dad perform, or is this something that you introduced him to?
Well, he was a really good athlete in high school, and he
Mhm.
went to state in the pole vault, and he was going to go to.
Wow.
We looked at several schools, and we kind of narrowed it down to Colorado State, and went there for a visit. And then when he got back, he's like, you know what, Dad, I don't think I want to go to college. And, oh, well, what do you want to do then? He goes, I think I want to go into stunts. And I'm like,
Ah.
kind of, I never taught him anything about stunts or mentioned stunts, but he picked it up because he helps me load and unload the trucks and trailers
Yeah.
all the time. So he knows how to do ratchet straps. He knows how to rig. He knows how to put up truss. And we have a trampoline here.
But you talk about like
Up.
safety first and passing that baton. Is the birds and the bees an easier conversation than how to get into stunts?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But you know what? He started when he's 18. He goes, I'm going to audition for that Waterworld show. And if I don't get it, I'll just go to school. And at 19 years old, he got it. So he's been there
Sick.
3 years. He works at the Waterworld stunt show.
I'm telling you, those are the best training grounds for stunt performers. You do the stunts all day long, every day of the week. It's amazing. Yeah. And water too. Water's a big one.
Yeah, that's where I started in 1988.
I know.
Doing the live show circuit, and it took me a while to get in. So when he got in with nothing on his resume, it just said Shane Gray and his address and phone number, and we took a little headshot of him. But I grew up in Florida with jet skis and skiing and falls and fights, and he already knew the falls and fights from doing them here, and he was really good on a jet ski, and they hired him. I'm like,
see, you're one of those natural stuntmen. You grew up doing all of these things. You learned how to fall and fight and try new things. You got very confident in your physical ability. Later, we learned the science behind it so that we can start doing things a little more aggressively.
I think you hit it on the head with me, because I grew up in Iowa, so I was a farm boy, and I pole vaulted and ran track and wrestled, and then had to get out of there, and I joined the service and went overseas. So I had the hard work ethic and the discipline when I started. But I didn't start stunts till I was like 26.
But that is such a tremendous foundation, that discipline too, because you're able to advocate for yourself, because I think service instills that in you. You have to, but also you're able to work with a team toward a common goal. And a lot of what we do on set is problem solving, moment to moment.
And most superstar stunt people, they're in phenomenal shape. And I think that doing live shows, you are in good shape doing 4 shows a day in that hot Florida weather, dressed as Indiana Jones with all the clothes on, and the Wild West show and the pirate show. You got to be in phenomenal shape. And it was a workout every show you did down there every day. And I think that's why I tell my kid, you got to stay in shape, dude. You can't just sit around and drink beer and watch TV and then wait for the phone to ring. So he gets it. Him and his friends are out mountain biking and jet skiing and surfing and practicing rigging and doing little jumping on the tramp here and mini tramp stuff. And now it's starting to pay off because he gets it, because he came from the live show circuit like his dad and mom. His mom was a stunt woman as well back in Florida back in the day. She did.
Florida breeds a lot of great stunt performers. It really does.
We call it the Florida Mafia. And that's, I don't know if anybody on your show's name dropping, but some of the best stuntmen I know in Hollywood came from Florida that I worked with. Mike Massa and Mike Gaines and Scott Parker, Jim Vickers and Jimmy Waitman and Max Daniels, and they all, Nick Brandon, Jim Churchman, Hank Amos, all came from the live show circuit in Florida, and we all came out here about the same time. And after you've got 5 or 6 live shows under your belt and get your SAG card and do a couple of stunts, it's time to move to Hollywood.
Right. So I did it the other way around. I was doing athletics my whole life, but also music. So my first career was music, but when 9/11 happened, I shifted. Yeah. So I got in later.
Catara, quadruple threat, singer, dancer, actress, stunt woman.
Oh man. If any one of them could just be, if I could just do one thing, for fuck's sake, it'd be so amazing.
So competitive. My God, I consider myself an average stuntman that just.
Okay, stop right there. I do not consider you an average stuntman.
I was an average athlete at a small school in Iowa. I was an average athlete in the Air Force. And when I went to Florida, I didn't get jobs right off the bat until I took acting classes. I couldn't.
But I know what you mean. And I know that all that's a phenomenal foundation, but as a well-rounded, not a specialist per se, you are now you're a specialist, but as someone who can do a bit of everything, you are invaluable. You really are on a set. Like, I mean, shit happens. Hey, Jason, can you jump in here? Yes, I can.
I think that's what I had to make myself do, is learn the rigging and learn the driving and the motor, what little things I dabbled in Iowa, riding go-karts on the farm and mini bikes and swinging off in the barn into the hay and pole vaulting and doing football and wrestling. I had to bring that all together and
harness it.
niche, because I'm not a college gymnast. I'm not a world champion high diver.
I get it. But do you need the awards and that kind of accolades to be good at and in your mind skilled at those things? I don't think so. It helps.
Like I tell my kid, I can't really put a finger on how the stunt business is going right now, let alone geographically. Yeah. We all know that, right, Lisa? Yeah. Hollywood's down 40%. Georgia's now down 50%. They're all going to London and Prague and Ireland and Australia, where they don't have to pay residuals and
union wages. Yeah, those residuals add up too.
So we're I don't know what to tell kids that are getting in the business now.
I know. I get asked all the time too.
And then you got to stay versatile, or do you hone in on one or two? Are you a previs guy, a martial artist, an acrobat? Or you try to be like the 60s, 70s and do everything?
People who are watching who don't know what previs is, can you explain what previs is?
Well, back when you and I started, everything was written, whatever scene you were doing was animated and drawn out. So they'd have a storyboard artist that says, this scene here is a close-up of him walking. This is a scene of him getting tackled. The next shot is this. So now, instead of doing storyboards and you go on set and there's these pictures of all the scenes you got to get in that day, everything's shot on video, and they call it pre-visualization. So a pre-visualization stunt team comes in with their camera and stunt coordinator and fighters and acrobats and riggers, and they'll put together the stunt scenes for the stunt coordinator or the director.
Yeah, essentially they make a film.
Yeah, and we all want to say we can do it like this practical, and then the director's like, my effects team will do that one. Okay, well, we can start it. You can turn it into CG. No, we got it. Or else, we'll do that practical. So that's how they make up their mind whether they can do the stunt and how cost.
I guess they don't have the creative visualization that the past had to rely on. Now they need to actually see something to know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's before previs, but what was the most ridiculous thing that you were asked to accomplish on a stunt team on set that you were like, give us 5 minutes?
Well, starting out as a rigger, I was pretty befuddled when I got hired to be on a stunt team. You know, maybe there's 6 riggers and I'm number 6 or 6.5.
That's ideal.
Yeah, and they're saying how we have to get this guy off the building 100 feet to the ground and swing out and grab this other girl, and then just the huge over the top rigging I didn't pick up quick at all. And I'm like, I just have to be handy and run to the truck and trailer and get the equipment.
Know your bits and parts and things.
Yeah, know my knots, know how to fit, know how to set stuff up, because the rigging was over the top of my head. So right off the bat, a couple of movies I got on, I was a little in over my head on the rigging.
It's amazing. Don't you
find I don't want to mention the shows because the rigger will be like,
no.
Yeah, if he didn't know what he was doing.
Don't you find that you learn more effectively and quickly when you're under pressure like that? Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to get anything wrong.
Yeah.
I zoom in. I'm like, I need to listen. I need to memorize.
I think so too. I don't think you get a chance to screw up too much in this business. It gets out pretty quick.
Okay, that part. So for you, because you've done this twice now with rigging and with fire safety, and to me, I've been asked if I wanted to coordinate for most of my stunt career, because that's a way that I think I'm a bigger picture person and I understand what
you can delegate and put together a good team. You're a manager,
but I can't do all of the things that everybody I would hire on my set can do, and for that reason, I never pursued it, and I understand the responsibility. So at a certain point, you become so confident in your skill set and you become so adept at what you do as a stunt performer. There is that jump from not only doing your own stunt, but now being responsible literally for the safety, the life of somebody on your wire, somebody that you're setting on fire. Where is it for you in your career that you decided you were ready to do that?
I think just before, let's see, when was I would say maybe 15 years ago, I gave it a stab because people were giving me shows to cover them on. So first, I was a cover guy. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't privy to the meetings and the budget and the bids and putting everything together. Would say the package is done. Here's the movie. It's a little $5 million movie. You're going to cover me. I got to go do something else. Those commercials, low budget movies, I started doing those, covering people.
Nice.
And then after a while, you got to be careful not taking somebody's producer or UPM away from them. They would call me to come in and do a show, and I go, I was there because my friend Jimmy hired me.
Right. This is
Gotta
Jimmy's
go through him.
show.
Yeah, you're Jimmy's producer. You got to go through him. And so after a while, some of the guys I came up with, the Florida Mafia, they were so busy, they would throw me shows and they would move on to bigger and better stuff. And, so I did it, but I didn't like it. I did it for about 8 to 10 years. I probably did 100 national commercials and music videos and TV shows.
Those are a lot right there.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of work, long days, and you're on your phone 24/7. And then the worst is when I hire someone like you and your friend, and I got to let one of you go.
Yeah, I've been there.
I go, sorry, so they're not going to use you after all. Those are tough calls. And they cut my budget. Sorry. And of course, when that happens to me, you say, oh, that's okay, Lisa. No big deal. I appreciate the call. But deep down, you're like, God dang it. I cleared my head with this guy. So I didn't like coordinating. I didn't like being on my phone all day, every night and making ridiculous small decisions like hair and makeup. And that double's not going to work. Can you get me another one? No, that's the guy you're going to use. And they're like, no, we can't use him. He's a bad double. And I'm like, oh, my God, when did they get all this power? But that's a whole nother podcast. But for me, just me personally, I had a good 8 to 10 year run coordinating, and I got burned out and I didn't like it. Maybe that's because we were knocking out so many commercials and music videos, and I was in charge of the equipment. I would bring my equipment, my truck and trailer, and I would get there early and find a place to park. And then the guys would come and rig. And then I'd have to check with, if it's a fire burn, I got to check with the fire marshal,
captain,
special effects guys. And then if it's rigging, I got to get my rigging guys going and
got to make sure there's a medic and an ambulance on set.
Yeah. Some people like that, being under fire and getting out there and being, but I call them singles.
It's a lot of minutia.
I'm married with kids and they're single, so they love it and it keeps them busy. And I have
but there's truth to that. I mean, in that lifestyle, I mean, there's the days when you used to have 2-3 shows at a time, which is why you were covering for people, you know. But now anymore, I don't know.
A lot of birthdays and anniversaries and get-togethers.
Yeah, well, I think that's also, Jason, if we're honest, this industry has a way of doing that to you. I got in 2005, just after you, and you're always on hold for something. Like everything is, oh, I really want to, but I might have to, I'm sorry. I know I committed, but I can't now. You miss like half your life. You don't even have it. Because
they say, you know, the old story is, if you want to get work, book a family vacation.
Right.
So you book a family vacation, and then here comes a month's job on.
Right. Well, here I am, 50, no kids, no spouse, no boyfriend. I live alone in Georgia, which I don't like, and that's a whole nother conversation. But man.
I see a lot of guys who go through divorce and they're gone all the time. And, so I put my marriage and my kids and my family first, and because my wife works for the city, she has a good job. My kids both work. So we're really, really, really good financially, because I had a good 20-year run when I moved to LA.
It's just a different
years
time.
In Florida, I had made a lot of money, and then here.
I think 2008 really shifted right after the 2007 strike. It really shifted. Budgets got a lot tighter. We knew that things were migrating into a more tech savvy direction. And and then Wall Street meddled hard in our industry, and just everything went to how much can we give our shareholders and how much can our CEOs gain?
And we'll never, that's what I tell my son, I can't keep up with all the changes with the government regulations and the SAG-AFTRA rules.
You know, I tried to with my open forum, you know, I was trying to do that. It's too much. It's just too much.
It is.
How do we even stay on top of our SAG-AFTRA contracts when there's like 6 or 7 or 8 of them now?
Oh my God. I had to know that as a coordinator, because they try to mess with you and mess with your budget and your overtime and your
Let's presume it was accidental, because they're so overwhelmed.
Well, as a stunt coordinator, you had to know all the SAG-AFTRA rules so you didn't get boned or your crew gets. That's the worst. Like, hey, Jason, I didn't get paid for this or this or that. I'm like, oh, so you have to go to bat.
I still 22 years. I still don't know like meal penalties and bullshit. Like I just love my job.
Bullshit, but it's a necessary evil. You got to know that stuff. My son was just in Oregon working on a movie, and they're trying to bone him on he was there for 12 days. They're trying to give him a weekly contract. I'm like, no.
How did they book him?
The production called, and the coordinator wanted him, and he went up there, and I said, make sure you get your per diem and hotel and airfare. And then he was on hold, and they're like, well, we're not going to pay you for the days you're on hold. I'm like,
that's like half the job is trying to get paid correctly.
Yeah, you're getting paid from the time you leave the house till you get home, those 12 days.
Right. They're responsible for you.
and not
You know,
a
you wouldn't be leaving the house if they
yeah,
didn't ask you to come to work and
yeah,
do
you're
what we
a distant
do.
hire. So you gotta. So we're fighting that battle right now. He's turning in his paperwork today again for the third time, and they're like, "Oh, this isn't right," and I'm like, "No, this is right. You guys are wrong."
One thing people that work with me know is I hang on to those call sheets. I make sure that I get one. For one, they don't give them to us anymore, but I make sure that I have everybody's information until we are all paid correctly.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can be
All the numbers
very Italian about getting paid. I'm very aggressive. You got to stay on top of it, unfortunately.
I think they're taking advantage of him because he's a kid, but you
Maybe.
don't know he's a second generation stuntman. So I haven't got involved yet, but I will if I have to.
But he is SAG-AFTRA.
Mm-hmm.
That already is amazing and impressive to me, and I'm excited for him. I don't know what that means right now, but I am excited for him.
He's doing great. He's doing great. He's getting calls, and he's finding his peer group who he works out with and trains and surf with, and they go riding motorcycles. And he has a lot more skills than I had when I started. I was just an athlete. I dabbled in motorcycles. I dabbled in cars, but he's taking it to heart and getting good at water sports and rigging and burns and falls and fights, and he's pretty good.
So again, though, because I don't think you quite answered it for me, when do you get to the point when you're like, yeah, I can light someone on fire?
Well, I had the best mentor. You know him, Mark Chadwick. I'm gonna name
I've been so blessed. The burns that I've done have all been with Mark, you, or Alex, and I am grateful for that.
I think he has a pretty long line of students like myself and Alex Smith, and he just and now Shane Gray, my son. So the professor of fire started it in Florida. He was dabbling with it, and then when he came out here, he kind of reinvented, not having to wear the big, huge Michelin suits.
Yeah, that changed everything.
Yeah, he did a really special, nice kind of gel, and he came up with some different kinds of fabric and textiles, and taught me how to do it. Now he's retired and I'm almost retired. So who do I pass it on to? So
you got your list. So for the viewers, this is exciting to me because we don't get to ask these questions. If you get to the end of a movie, there might be some behind the scenes of the action team and quick little bits about how they did stuff after it's already been done. But using our full burn that we did for Truth or Dare, walk people through the process of getting your performer prepared to do a burn. That was a full burn. That was a full prepare.
Yeah. We treat every burn different. It's just like a rigging job or a fight scene. They're all different every time. So a burn is always different. And I bring the kitchen sink. I got a truck and trailer, or I'll use a van, and I put everything I have in there almost, including fuel and the different textiles I might want to use. And then I prepare a couple days before, and then I'll either call the stunt performer like yourself. I don't think I called you before, but I just asked, hey, have you ever done a burn before? And it doesn't matter if they have or haven't. Me and Mark just want to know if you have any fire experience.
To know how to communicate, yeah.
And then we just quietly set up off to the side and make it no big deal. Like, this is just another stunt on the show, and we're all going to be super safe and not expose any skin and keep the burn down, and give the stunt coordinator, I think, was another unbelievably great, gracious, super stunt coordinator, Steve Ritzy, who I've known for years and years, who's gotten me a ton of work. He's one of my favorite coordinators. And
I love working with him, and Alan D'Antoni. Those two seem
you were in safe hands because you had the professor of fire and then his little assistant me, and Ritzy. And so and we just take our time and go off to the side, and then we'll just talk it through and go over it and over it and over it. And
I think for me, when I got there, I asked because, this was new to me. I'd never met Mark before. I knew who he was. So that's why I took the job, is because I knew who was going to be there. I said, hey, just so you know, I ask a lot of questions for my own information so I can better assist you assisting me. And he's like, ask everything.
Cool. Yeah. Cool as a cucumber. He'll answer. He rattles him. He's a veteran stuntman. He's been around forever. He's done a ton of stunts. He's not just a fire expert. He was a motorcycle expert. He was a gymnast in college. He's just a well-rounded stuntman. That's why.
I noticed how methodical you all were as a team. Like the things that you paid attention to, that you triple and quadruple checked right up to the moment, because it was a long day. I don't know if you remember, but we came back after lunch, and then we kind of ran through the scene while it was getting a little tacky. It was a lot of weight, a lot of heat. It was about 100 and something degrees outside.
Yeah, we were on the desert, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long
You don't want
day.
to be in that gelled suit for too long because it cuts off your pores. You can't breathe in there. So you don't want to be sitting
Yeah.
for an hour out in the desert.
Although my skin was soft as hell after that.
Afterwards, yeah, the gel is yeah. It's a food additive. It's harmless, but it gives, if you make it cold and put it on right, it gives you an extra 5-6 seconds of burns.
I remember that too. Like you opened up a cooler full of in my mind, frozen clothing soaked in fire gel.
It doesn't have to be super cool, but since we were out in the desert and it's the middle of the day,
awesome.
we made it cool to help you out, and it doesn't have to be ice cold.
So there's about maybe three or four layers of clothing. The last one being the costume that was also treated. I had a synthetic wig. Unfortunately, it was synthetic. I wish it were real hair.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
We spritzed that a little bit with some gel water. So ruined the wig, but I think we burned a little.
And then you painted around all the places that air can get underneath everything, and had me rub it into my hands and whatnot, and we had hands to put on my hands. And then you put me on a process trailer and rolled me to set because I was like 45 pounds heavier.
Yep. That's what a lot of people don't know, but that gel is thick and heavy. So
it's heavy.
We've done people on fire doing a ratchet or a hand pull, and then readers, hey, she's going to weigh an extra 25 pounds. And like,
those don't bother me, but the ones I see, like I'm the only one who's never watched Game of Thrones, but I've seen 5 minutes of it in that clip of that huge fire burn.
Oh yeah.
And they had masks on. That is the only thing that makes me trepid about fire burns is when you have any kind of mask on and anything can get cut.
The big infernos, we call them infernos. The big infernos, you got to wear, silicone hands and masks.
We did, yeah.
That Mark makes, you got to wear those. You can't have any. It's like being in the Arctic in the middle of the winter and it's 60 below. You can't have any skin exposed.
Nothing.
That's why you got the hands. He makes the homemade silicone and the masks too with the Pyrex goggles, and you can burn a little longer.
Is there, can you talk about any science? We talk about science and physicality when it comes to action, because I don't know, I feel like people don't realize how much thought and preparation and how many people and how many experts and specialists come together to make huge action in TV and film.
Yeah.
But is there a science you can talk about in terms of?
Absolutely, because that's why we call Mark Chadwick the professor of fire, because he has never stopped in 30 some years of burns, mixing different fuels and different spirits versus gasoline or contact cement or lacquer thinner or kerosene or different kind of textiles. Is it cotton or is it 50-50? And
what's the clothing?
Yeah,
and what's the environment?
Jeans or a big thick 100% cotton hoodie that helps us a ton.
Yeah,
a little safer.
Also, are you inside, outside?
The wind.
Is it? Yeah, I mean,
I couldn't get Mark lit in Hawaii. We're doing a show over there in the sugarcane patch, and man, it was so windy we couldn't get him lit. So I had to douse him, and then we talk about exposure time because heat always wins. So you become time managers, and you're like, he's going to get super hot in there, and we just nowadays it's video. Back in the old days, it was film. So you didn't run that film camera until you were ready, and you get one shot. Now video, everybody has a video camera and your cell phone and GoPros, so you don't have to burn as long. You get more cameras and more edits. So like a burn I did on Hawaii 5.0 was like a 20-second burn, but it had like 10 edits in it, so it made it look like it was a lot longer.
My thing is like, just get coverage. Put a camera on everything. I don't care.
Yeah. Get good coverage, so we only have to do it once, and let's make it a rager. And she's super bomber, super safe. She's got 3 layers on and no skin exposed, and we're gonna douse her with fuel and go. And then you become time managers. Hey, we're gonna count. If it's MOS, there's no microphone on set. We'll scream real loud. You're lit. Action. 1, 2, 3 until we get to 15. And if we got the shot, Steve needed 8 to 10 seconds. So 15 is plenty. Why go longer? And we never, ever give producers ideas and suggestions. They tell us what we want, and we just do it. Because if you start offering up, you know what else we could do?
Could we do this too?
We could make this more dynamic. With fire burns.
I can still hear exactly the tone of Mark calling 1001, 1002, 1003 as we ran the scene right up to the gas station. Crazy.
Time management's everything in burns. We don't need to burn as long, but we can if we have to. But most of the time, the script doesn't call for a minute burn. So,
have you ever been burned?
Me, yeah, training, working
Sure.
live shows. I got burned a couple times.
Oh yeah, Waterworld.
Just
That'll do it.
training, just practicing stuff on myself and let it go for a little while. And the next thing I know, I got a little blister on my wrist, but
Yeah, it happens fast.
stupid, just had to get it done. Who am I going to test it on? My 8-year-old? I don't know. No one else was
Please
around.
don't try these things at home, people. I know it looks exciting, but there's a whole thing behind it. These people have spent a lot of time researching and experimenting.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. We practice all the time at Mark's house or here in Thousand Oaks at my house, and different textiles, like I said, and different kinds of gel thickness and different kinds of masks and hands and stuff. And there's naked burns, there's partial burns. Girls are in bikinis, their legs on fire. How do you do that? Every burn
all
is
of that,
different.
yeah. Is there clothes? Is there no clothes? Is it inside, outside? What's the
Polyester,
temperature? Have they done a burn before? How many people
yeah.
are involved in the burn? What's the
Mhm.
timing? Are they on fire from the start?
Yeah, if I got a big burn to do tomorrow, I don't get too much sleep the night before. I'm making gel and I'm putting the package together and I'm loading the truck, and then my mind is just spinning all night long. And the next thing I know, the alarm goes off at 5
Oh,
a.m.
you have that checklist.
I haven't
Yeah.
been to sleep yet, so I'll get to work. I go, "Hey, Mark, did you sleep last night?" "Yeah, a little bit." "Did you?" And I go, "No."
No, absolutely
Well,
not. No.
relax for a few minutes. We're up last. You get in there at noon and you don't burn till 8, so you can.
Right, and that too, like you wait around forever. So I imagine, like, I was on set once with a newbie who was all excited to do a burn because like they wanted to be a stunt person, and like this was a big deal.
Yeah,
And
everybody wants to do a
we
burn.
didn't do it for like 6 or 8 hours, and they were kind of like getting in their head, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
boy.
I think the big gags they save till the end of the day. They bring you in early because they think it takes 6 hours to set up and rehearse, but it doesn't.
Sometimes I think they bring us in for a solid 8 because they paid for that.
Yeah.
You know?
And you sit around, and like you said, they start having intrepidation, and their mind starts racing, and then they start asking questions, and then me and Mark are like, "Okay, here we go," and they just
Oh my
start talking
God.
and asking and asking, and yeah, we burn half our burns are newbies, either an actor, a B actor, or the A actor's arm or leg has to catch on fire, and we burned Will Ferrell, we burned Jeremy Renner, and I don't know, the list goes on and on. And
Nice guys.
Yeah,
nice guys to work with.
Yeah, we did a little arm burn on Jeremy on some movie. He goes, and then we put him out, and he goes, "That's it. That's all I'm going to do.
Shut your mouth. It's a
And
big
we go,
deal.
"Well, that was the rehearsal. It's going to be a lot bigger when we shoot it." And he goes, "Well, let's see it." And I go, "No, we're gonna save it for when the cameras are rolling." He goes, "All right." And then when we did it, he goes, "Okay, Jason. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a ranger. So one and
All
done,
right.
right?" Yeah, he was like,
Oh man.
I'm like, "Yeah, we're done. You got it. Good job."
There's a balance too when you're working with a lot of actors, and it doesn't matter, A-list, B-list, does not matter. The human nature is the same with all of them. They really want to do their own stunts a lot of times. They really want to get in there.
As long
There's
as
a reason we're here, doubling them.
If we keep the burn short, 10, 15-second burns, I have all the confidence in the world all day, every day. It doesn't matter who, if it's The Rock or myself or Mark Burnin or you, it doesn't matter. I think we're going to take care of you and you're going to be super safe. The other side of that coin is a couple of the other things I do is rigging. Rigging to me is different because you can severely hurt someone in burns, but we kind of got that under control now. We don't go a long time. Like I said, we try to be time managers. But the rigging, you can always thump somebody.
So I was told that in rigging, you always have one person that you jack up a bit, just because you're learning,
When I first started on a rigging team, I was the crash test dummy. So I was always in the harness after.
Did you volunteer for that?
No, just like, go get a harness on. You're the lightest guy on the team. You look most like the actor, so go get a harness on. We're going to send you. I'm like, okay. Sometimes I got sent good, and another time I go, "You guys, we need to make it."
Sometimes you're the baseball bat. Sometimes you're the baseball.
Really jack somebody up rigging. It's a lot different than burns. I think the burns might be down. I'll probably jinx myself. I got a burn coming up in a week, but I haven't burned anybody yet in 30 years. But
and you won't.
Yeah, I've accidentally, let someone down a little hard, or we thought we could get by with a 4-inch pad and should have had an 8-inch pad there.
Oh yeah, I've been that person.
Rigging's a little scary for me. I just don't like hurting people, and I know we're stunt guys. We're supposed to be tough, and we're all ground pounders. But if it's my friend, I don't want him to be a ground pounder. I don't want him to take a hard hit.
That's the thing is, like, we've gone through all of these seasons of learning and reinventing so that we don't have to walk like we've broken every bone in our body by the time we're 60.
Yeah.
So,
Which is where I'm at. stoved up and beat up and 60 years old. And what else can I do? Drive, rig, burn, coordinate, act.
Driving rocks. That depends on the car, depends on the circumstances. But driving, at least you're sitting.
Yeah, the money has to be good for a good thumper.
I'm telling you, at this, you've paid your damn dues.
Yeah, so now instead of being the low man on the totem pole on the rigging and fireburn team, I'm either in the middle or the top, and I don't have to go get suited up. But I still put my pad bag with all my sweaty, nasty pads and my jerk vest, and if
better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
That's the rule.
My bottom line is, if Jason Greige's on set and he's got my safety in his hand, I'm fine. I let go. Like, I'm like, I'll be fine. Because then I know we're working together. Like, it's a dance.
And another thing about coordinating was saying no. You got to get around saying no and say, what if we did it this way instead? Because they want a specific way to do it.
Right.
Being the amateur coordinator at the time, I couldn't figure out how to give them what they wanted because it sounded dangerous and it was beyond my capacity and my team. Maybe I should have had maybe a couple other guys, and then I'd call my ISA brothers, and they're like, no, that's the way to do it, like this. And if they're asking you to do this, that sounds a little crazy. That's now you're doing daredevil stuff. That's not safety off. The railing's not there, and you can't hook them off.
I feel like
you fight those battles, and you just hope. I just always pretend it's my kid or my wife that I'm burning or rigging or crashing into, and make sure they're going to go home with me afterwards.
I think some of the sometimes with all the storyboards, because they can draw it, sometimes the new directors think that maybe it can be done because it was drawn. And it's not the science behind it's not necessarily the case. So for people who don't, I think people generally know what rigging is. They know, it's wires and trellis and, yanking people around, getting them off the ground, flying them through the air.
Yeah.
But what exactly quantifies rigging? Because it's so many things. It can be so many different things.
I think when someone's in a harness and they're attached to a wire, that's where the riggers come in. Whether you're, you can get so many jobs, which I'm getting a lot now, is fire safety. No one's setting on fire, but there's an explosion. We just need you there in case.
Awesome.
Or there's a rigging job, but it's not really rigging. Like, there's so many incredible top-notch rigging teams out there. I don't even know where to start, but I know a lot of them, and they're just super talented at what they do. The guys that take care of Tom Cruise. There's superstar riggers and rigging teams out there. I won't say any names because I don't want to leave anybody out. But one of the best is the Florida guy that I came up with, Jim Churchman.
Jimmy,
he's quite the rigger. There's probably nothing he hasn't done, and he can do it all. And
we're talking like
because he's a genius.
Math and science, like the angles, and you have to work with what you've got for the most part. There's trellis involved, but you got to work with the architecture that you have indoors or outdoors. And the way that things are picked and pulled and yanked and angles that are on the floor and off of, it's so much. To me, it's overwhelming where to begin to learn. Yeah.
So what if I work all year long and I'm just rigging safety and somebody on a ledge? That means putting them in a belt and hooking them off somewhere. That's technically rigging, but it's not the type of rigging that is out there now on safety on all the Marvel superhero shows and comic books where guys are flying clear across the stage or clear across the parking lot. So there's all different types of level of rigging, safety rigging. I was just on a set the other day, and it was just a girl up on a ledge running, and there was a pick point way above her, and she was just on a runner, which is just a pulley.
So it resisted her so she can just run
back and forth, and they're safe. If they fell off the ledge, they'd fall like 3 feet of fall arrest instead of 30 feet to the ground. So there's safety rigging, and then there's flying, and then there's the machines come out, the winches and the ratchets and the air rams and all that stuff. And
let's talk about those ratchets and hand pulls.
Hand pulls I'll still do. I have a ratchet, I have a capstan winch, and a couple of ladders, and I do a lot of hand pulls and capstan winches, lowering and raising people, and we got a little ratchet, and we'll do that. But I'm probably at the end of all that now, because I don't, at my age, when I'm almost got a foot out the door, I don't want to be responsible for being malaise and I've been there, done that, and then get somebody hurt. I don't want to drop the ball and take my foot off the gas and injure somebody because I got complacent, which
I so appreciate
that. But I can feel I'm almost done, and I don't want to be on a big show and have my finger on a button. And besides, my problem is I'm a social animal. When I'm on
Sure.
set, I talk to everybody
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
instead of concentrating on what I should be doing.
You get really comfortable with what
Mhm.
you've done and what you know. I think the best advice I ever got from a coordinator was early on. He said, "Stay on your feet. Don't
Yeah,
ever get so
yeah.
comfortable doing something that you take it for granted."
And I'll catch myself. I'm talking to this grip. I didn't know he was from Iowa, and we're talking about growing up in Iowa. And then I'm talking to this Flex guy, and the next thing I know, my gag's coming up, and I just tell him, "Hey, I gotta go. I gotta cut you off. I gotta go concentrate. I'm not paying attention." And it's just a little commercial where I'm safetying somebody, or maybe I got somebody on a wire and they're just hovering like Supermom above the table for a Subway commercial. It's
I
not that.
really try not to say the word just because anything has risk, you know,
I know.
anything that we do has risk.
That's so true. Yeah, or they wouldn't call it stunt. So
They
yeah,
wouldn't
stay
call
on
it
your
stunt.
feet, stay alert. You're there to
Yeah.
do a job. You did your homework the week before. Sometimes I'll rehearse something here at the compound at the house, and we're dialed in and ready to go. But as a stunt coordinator, you got to have plan A, plan B, plan C. The director didn't like plan A, you got to go to B.
Right.
The actor didn't like plan B, you got to go to C. So if you don't have A, B, and C ready to go, it's going to be a really long day. So I got burned out from making all these plans and not sleeping the day before. It might be
Man,
a
I
3-day
feel it.
commercial, or it might be a 2-day music video, or I'm on this TV show for 6 weeks and
Right.
they're throwing the kitchen sink at me. And all the experts I'm calling to come out and help me are busy. So now I'm grabbing guys that might be just my level
Oh,
of
sure. Yeah.
or driving or falling. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I need the big boys. And sometimes they're not available. And then I really don't get any sleep. So I believe
Without,
in effort. I love being on a team and figuring stuff out together and doing the
oh,
best
love it.
possible job we can safely.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And you get your buddies on set, and
Yeah.
you're part of the process of creating stuff. You're a filmmaker. You're in this process of creating a stunt action sequence. You got your cars out when you're doing the driving sequence, your little cars, and you're doing your little mini previs on your phone. Nothing like the professional previs guys, but I got previs on my phone, and then you collaborate with the first AD, and then the director comes over and let me see what okay, that'll work. And then,
the excitement and the wheels.
mm-hmm.
Have you ever?
I'll miss that. I'll miss that when I retire, being on set and
the energy,
creating stuff. But
yeah, to me, it still feels like home. God help me. I mean, it's where I breathe. It's what I love. I'm still trying to forge that acting career, but all the A-list actors can't work right now, so they're doing the guest stars and the recurrings. And I'm old now. I'm not that hot, exciting. I was 30 when I started. I'm not that person anymore. So I want different things.
Well, you still look fantastic and you got the talent. It's just
makeup, baby.
It's just leaving town. It's nowhere to be found on the U.S. map. And
correct. Yeah.
In the last 20, 30 years since you and I started, I've moved to Florida in 88 and I was doing live shows in 91, 92. So almost a little over 30 years. It's changed. I used to work all over and work in Hollywood a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went to New Orleans, and then it went to New Mexico, and then it went to Georgia. Now we've trained people in Texas. We've trained people all over the country and all over the world how to do stunts, and now it's leaving us. So there's Ireland and England and Bulgaria and Italy that we've trained, and we send them equipment, and now they don't need us. And
I know.
Never go back. I've been to Mexico, Canada, Australia, Boston, Georgia, Minnesota, Oregon, Montana. I was just in Montana, Oklahoma, and they have people there now.
Yeah,
so
they do. And thank God though, because they have people and those people are knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful.
You got all the talent in the world, Lisa, but it's not happening here. It's in Australia now. It's happening.
Believe me, I know. This is, I've been watching this.
London.
There were little pivotal moments with technology where my radar went off like, oh shit, this is bad.
Yeah.
But
I can't keep up with it all. That's why, at the beginning
because it changes every 6 months. There's a whole new thing. I used to be a spokesperson for various tech companies and whatnot. And I used to go to those CES conventions in Vegas and speak on behalf of whatever the hot new thing was.
Oh, okay.
And one year I was the face of the future of smart cities, which included autonomous vehicles. And Ford had come out with an autonomous vehicle. They were talking about the smart city and how it would work in this environment. And we were talking about that technology. And my mind was like, bullshit, because it doesn't have one of the most vital things that humans do when they're driving a car. It doesn't have peripheral vision. It can't, when you hear something about to happen and you look and then there it is, you can react to it.
Yeah.
Whereas these vehicles
and you hope they work. Yeah.
So I thought, well, wow, this must be more than just this cool hot toy. This must be an investment for the tech bros to, boost Wall Street, and everybody jumps on board, and, they make their millions of dollars and invest it in something else. It's part of this huge machine that's gotten so big. We can't win against it.
It's huge. It's huge.
Massive.
Like I said at the top of the podcast, I can't tell my son and his friends where it's going. I'm not.
I can.
Sure. Okay.
I can for him. Forget about the AMPTP. Forget about what's happening with tech and Hollywood going overseas. Forget about Hollywood as it were. Make projects. Find your tribe. Find your team. Independent film is going to be where it's at. Now, with that comes a whole host of challenges I don't like. For one, funding. A lot of new voices that don't have your expertise and aren't easy to work with on a set because they don't know the answers, and that's a whole thing.
Sometimes lower rates.
A lot lower rates. It might be hard to have a career at it unless you're the head honcho, which means you have to build something for yourself. But I feel like audiences are craving art more so than big empires. We've done Marvel and DC. We've done these huge universes, multi-universes. I feel like they really want new stuff, whatever that is.
And Hollywood's not giving it to us, because I was just on a Buffy reboot, and I don't know how many other reboots are out there and movies that
I auditioned for that Buffy reboot. I'm excited for it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's going to be different, right?
Well, if it gets picked up, it's going to start in February, and Michelle Gellar is one of the producers, and I'm sure it'll go. And they got a good stunt team and a good story, but that's just one example of reboots. Yeah. I think they're running out of ideas, so the big studios are just regurgitating old TV shows and making them into movies. Like
Jason Gray, they are not running out of ideas. They won't make the original shit. These scripts are falling out of the sky. We've all been writing them. They won't do it. They want the thing that's going to.
They're going okay, so they're going with what they think is going to work instead of
what's worked in the past. Great. Yeah. Let's take Austin, what's his name? Brewer, whatever. He's the hot guy right now. And Margot, and put them in it.
Oh, Austin Butler. Yeah. Elvis. Yeah.
Right.
Right now. Let's do vehicles
stocks.
for him. Yeah.
These are all stocks. These people are stocks. This idea is stocks. It's worked in the past. It'll work again with hot new faces. And the rest of these writers and people like me who have scripts too, we're sitting there going, I grew up on great movie. Gen X grew up on great movies. We had Indiana Jones when Indiana Jones came out. We had Never Ending Story. We had original ideas and magic, so much magic.
Yeah.
Now it's like, here's the green screen. Where do the monster's right about here. Put your eye line, you're going to go.
I felt that on The Mandalorian. We're trying to figure out it's nothing but a giant blue screen. And the creature's here. Aim at this tennis ball. That's the creature. And I don't know how they did that actors.
Wait, you didn't go to space? You didn't go to space?
Space.
Crazy.
I know. I'm not down with that whole volume technology they have, where there's a piece of sand on the ground and this motorized Star Wars vehicle, and then he just goes out into the desert on this little screen, and he hasn't moved. But yet, and when the show comes out, he's out in the middle of this big, huge desert scene. He's fighting these two big, huge monsters. And we were just on a blue screen on a backlot at Manhattan Beach Studios. So that volume they've created is something else, the Star Wars.
But here we go. Like, here's a situation. If it weren't for the union wages and the fact that they want to save so much money, these screens can be Budapest. These screens can be the UK. We can do everything right here, any era, any time, any whatever. On the screen. We have this technology now. A
couple months ago, I worked on a show where we had to do a fire burn inside a car, and it was a car chase down the desert highway outside Vegas, and it was at the Radford Studios in Studio City, and the car was on a crappy old piece of asphalt, and then they had big, huge screens all behind it.
Wow.
And when they played it back on the screen, it looks like those three people on fire in a fight in the car were hauling ass down a desert road in the middle of the night. So we didn't have to go to Vegas. We didn't have to go out to the desert, because when they said the show takes place in Vegas, okay, all right, we're going to Vegas. No, it's going to be out in the desert. Oh, I don't mind working in the desert. That'll be fine. And
this is the last word.
And I'm like, what? But it made it easier to do the burn. There was no wind, and we didn't have to work in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, safety, absolutely. But then sometimes you need, like in the context of film watching, don't you need to see a little wind go? And then we make it up. We fake it.
Unfortunately, we all agreed when we're watching. I was kind of watching the playback like this. It looked real. It looked amazing. I'm like, crap, that really looked good. Sucks, but
we don't know what. So in the last, you got 9 minutes. Okay, in the last 9-10 minutes of this interview, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about, I mean, tech.
I told you I don't know what's gonna happen.
No, but like let's pontificate. Let's use our imaginations. Put your cap on, Jason.
Well, there's a wish list how I wish it would go.
I know. And listen, I want to get back to work. The job market outside, like I can't go back to corporate America. The job that I had doesn't exist, or it's been eradicated for AI. Right. And my skill sets are transferable, as many of ours are, because we do so much on a film set that people don't know. There's no jobs. There's no jobs, and people coming out of college want them too. So, we're, what am I going to do? But in the best case scenario, and we have to work with this technology, how are some ways that this could be advantageous? How are some ways that we can work with this technology and still continue to make magic? Because I know there's a way.
Yeah, some of the younger guys I talk to, and we're sitting there with the veterans, they're kind of all on the same page. And they say, whatever the new technology is coming down the pike, learn it. Don't fight it, because we're not in charge. We
are not in charge.
We're just stunt guys that land on our head for a living. A lot of the stunt guys and stunt coordinators I know are geniuses, but producers treat us like we're idiots.
Right. We're supposed to pretend to be idiots.
They're the ones coming up with how we're going to do stuff. They're the ones coming up with the volume. They're the ones coming up with the VFX and all this fancy editing and blue screen and green screen and motion capture. And the young and the old that I've been hanging out with on set all say the same thing. Don't fight it. Learn it and get on board with it. So my son went to a mocap class. It was a week-long class.
Did he enjoy it?
Yeah, he loved it.
I love the volume.
To go, he couldn't do it, but he got a call afterwards to come in and do some mocap work.
Can I ask? Well, don't tell. I'll ask you off camera. If I can get him integrated, I'd love to introduce him to the people that I work with.
Learn the mocap. Learn. Yeah. I don't know how you can help with visual effect. Learn to do the previs, because that's a new thing now that's been around 5 or 6 years. Learn the previs, learn mocap. I know guys that have bought mocap suits and a little green screen suit, and they'll get in it and learn what they can do and what they can't do. I've done a few.
Make your own stuff.
Yeah. And, it's kind of nice to do those mocap games because you're on a soundstage and you work 9 to 5.
And you act like a total moron. It's fun.
Yeah. Theme to hang from. I did The Last of Us. And it was a fun few weeks working on that game, and paid really well. And it was 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and got some residuals from it, believe it or not, which was weird. So
I've done so many games. I don't get residuals for them.
I was surprised. I was surprised. I don't know.
Movies are different.
Yeah. And so embrace the mocap and embrace the editing and the visual effects and the previs and whatever else we're talking about. I don't know what the other new advice.
I think it's hard for those of us got shut down during pandemic and strikes, because we were already overwhelmed, and learning something new on top of trying to scramble it's a lot, especially for people that are older. This stuff is over my head, but I'm learning. Here. I'm trying.
Yeah, because I'm just being old and stupid and stubborn. I don't want to learn it.
I'm stubborn. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for validating who I am. Yeah, I'm stubborn.
Me too.
I don't want to. I've learned 100 fucking things. I went to school for opera and became a stunt woman. Shut up. No more.
I know. I went to college for broadcasting. I was going to be a newscaster.
You could still do that. You could totally do that. Anyway. Yeah. Well, okay. Before you retire, we got 5 minutes, and I want to know, looking back on 30 years, even more, because you started before you got into movies, you were still an athlete. Yeah. Looking back on all the films, all the television shows, all the moments with friends on set, and all the shit that comes down, do you have a favorite or two favorite moments that like nostalgia from your career?
Well, I'll go back to the live shows, because I take a lot of pride in being Indiana Jones and doing the Wild West show and Spider-Man and Batman, all that crap I did. I take a lot of pride in doing that, because I took a beating and did 5-6 shows a day, 5-6 days a week. And some of my best friends came out of there that are still very close to me now, that have taught me stuff and I've taught them stuff, and they've got me work and I got them work. But working at Disney World, when we opened that park in Florida, every celebrity from Michael Jackson to the cast of MASH came to that show. I met everyone in Hollywood in the green room at the Indiana Jones show.
Amazing.
In the summer of 1989 and 90 and 91.
That is so cool.
So that was cool. The live show circuit, there's so many great friends, and I've done some really cool shows and some cool stunts and special events, conventions, grand openings. I opened Japan, Universal Studios.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I opened MGM Studios in Florida. I opened the zoo, opened up Islands of Adventure at Universal. So I did a lot of theme park stunt shows where I was a trainer, stunt captain, and stunt coordinator. Amazing. And that was 13 and a half years of my life that besides being in the military and living in Europe for 4 years, that was fun too. But
wow, thank you for your service too.
Oh, thank you.
For everything that's worth, and it's worth
everybody. I recommend everybody give a couple of years to the service. It's not that difficult, and there's a lot of pride, and I get a lot of discounts and a lot of love. So
hey,
and then film and TV. Most of the fun I had on film or TV shows was the surreal moments where I had to fight Jennifer Garner, who was 6 or 7 months pregnant, and Ben but at the time is sitting in a director's chair about 10 feet away watching. We're on the submarine, and she comes in and we're supposed to do this fight, and I'm like, I'm not too and slipping and sliding around, and I am at a computer, and she comes in and we start fighting, and the fight coordinator is Dave Morza. I go, can't we just do something real simple? And he goes, well, she could just take the back of your head and bash it on the keyboard. And
there's your simple.
And Jennifer goes, yeah, I'll do that. And I go, I will too. So she just comes in, and I look up at her, and she just goes, and I'm out. Thank God. I didn't want to fight her. So she gave me a big hug afterwards, and I did nothing.
Problem solving 101.
I just complained. I kind of mentioned it. And then the other surreal moment was being in a chair, ratcheting out the window, doubling Bill Murray on the old woman's Ghostbusters movie in Boston.
Oh, that's right.
I'm
You did Ghostbusters.
To a chair. I got a ratchet that's going to raise me, and another ratchet to pull me out the window.
Yank you, yeah.
And in front of me are all the 4 women for like 30 minutes.
Were their eyes like,
what are you doing? What are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go out that window. And they couldn't see the little ropes and stuff they're tied to me. And I'm tied to the chair. So the chair goes with me. And I'm doubling Bill Murray, who I'm a terrible double for. But they took me off the rigging team and put me in Bill Murray's costume because I could fit out the window, because he's kind of a big guy. He's like 6.
Legend. He's a legend. So I'm
sitting there. I got my hat pulled down. I got my cane. And then they just start talking to me and asking me questions. It's Kristen Wiig and Melissa.
Such a great group, man.
Yeah. And so I sat there and talked to them for half an hour before I went. And then
that'll get your energy up.
So yeah, it's just surreal moments. No big gags that I can remember. They're all the same. You get up and walk away, it's a good gag. So ratchet.
Facts. Any day that everybody gets home safely is a good day, regardless of anything else, Yeah.
So those are the 2 surreal moments that stick out in my mind. But
I feel like, it's this moment right before your inevitable retirement from being a stunt man and the world still before you. I feel like I'm inclined to say I'm very proud of you and very excited about what you've accomplished. It's an era that might be past, but maybe your son will carry it on, and something new and exciting will come from it. At any rate,
with the time we have left, I can tell you that stunts was never on my radar ever, all the way through college. Yeah,
you was walking too.
Yeah,
but I'm glad that it did, though. I'm thrilled that I got to extend into this part of storytelling and meet so many incredible people like you, Mark.
It's a great podcast. It's a great idea, and it's a good chance for us.
Well, tell our friends. I know people on here.
It's cathartic for me saying a few things that I probably haven't mentioned before to anybody, but
I'm grateful. Thank you for stopping and joining us. I'm grateful. I saw a whole bunch of people on Instagram had chimed in. This was a fun one. Stay tuned. We've got more people lined up for the show. Jason, I'm going to hold you hostage for just a couple of minutes after we log off. Everybody else, I don't know when the next episode is. People are actually getting little jobs here and there, Justin included. Maybe he'll be back, maybe he won't. But thank you for joining us on Greige Against the Machine. And this was episode 22 with Jason Gray.
Thanks for having me.